I'm going to start off with some simple lessons just so that we can work around the menu in Generations. So to start with, I'm going to open my image by clicking on my image tool. Then I'm going to surf until I can find my heart one. It's a vector image. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to use it as simple artwork, and I'm going to make sure the auto select, the background and the options resize after inserting are selected. I'm going to click OK. I'll leave that at the size that I already have it. Click OK again. I'll hold down my control key. Using my right mouse button, I'm going to click on these white areas. Now they're selected, I'm just going to keep my control key down and hit delete. That gets rid of those areas I want to generate. That's generated the heart. I'm going to turn off my image from my top image button, and now you'll see if I select my heart from my sequence menu, and that is up the top here, so make sure you have it selected, and I'm going to go to complex fill. I can move my in and out points wherever I want them by just dragging with my left mouse button. I can also change the direction by holding on the cursor there and moving it around, and generate after I've made any changes. Now if we look at the 3D view, you can see that that's a very plain heart. So now I'm going to turn off my 3D view, and I'm still on complex fill, and I'm going to hit my space bar. This opens my area object stitch properties menu. That's very hard to say. I'm going to select used stamp pattern and just select any of my stamp patterns that I have in my menu. You can just surf through and pick any one you like. I'll try and find one that's actually in your Generations folder, so I might select just number 44. I can click on the links and I can change the size of that if I want to. I can preview what it would look like. Because I've changed the X and the Y size, I need to change my column spacing to 9 and my row spacing to 9, and preview. And there you have my pattern. I'll just click OK, apply, and OK again, and generate, and there's my 3D view. And you can see we have a very simple heart pattern. Next we're going to add a border to the design, and to do that we need to go to Stitch, Create Outline from Area Edges. We're going to leave the offset where it is at 0. Make sure we have satin border selected, and then I'm going to change the width to 2 and click OK and generate. Now you have a satin border around your design. Whilst we have this heart selected, what I'm going to do is now is select the inner part of the heart, and I'm going to do a Control C and a Control V, which will copy and paste me another heart. Whilst it's selected, I'm going to go to my resize button down the bottom, and I'm going to change that down to 45. If I hit my tab key, you can see because I've got maintain aspect ratio checked, it's also changed the Y as well as the X. So we're going to click OK. I'm going to change the colour of that so that you can see it a bit better. So you can see we have a heart now placed in the centre of the other heart. I'm going to go back to the right part, the red part of the heart, and I'm going to View Outline. Now I want to make a hole in the red part for the blue to fit into. So if I right click on the grey area and select Create a Void using existing area, you'll see that if I go into that blue area, a purple pinky line forms. If I then tap with my left mouse button, hit enter and escape and generate, I've made a hole within the center of that red. Again, if you wanted to, you can create an outline from the area edges. This time I might make that into a 2 with a satin border and click OK and generate. Now you can see we have the red an outline, the blue, and an outline. You can change the pattern fill in the center if you want to. If you hit your space bar and you don't want a stamp pattern, you just want, say, a complex fill or maybe a motif pattern. You could use the motif pattern by selecting motif and then clicking on a motif from your collection. If I just select that one, I might change it to 7, column space 7, row space, and preview to see what that looks like. At the moment it's not looking very good, so I must select that again and preview again. Now you can see that the one that I've selected, apply, OK, and now you have a motif pattern in the center. You can do that with any of your motif patterns. If you don't want to have that as a blue, again you can select them and change to a red color if you want to. Now we have another red part of the design in a motif fill in the center of the heart. You can see that the actual heart itself, if I select all those areas, I want to make them the same color. I've actually got different shades up here, so I might make them the same shade of red. That means I've only got one color change, and if I generate, you can see that now we have a very interesting heart shape. Okay, now if you want to have a closer look, I'm going to turn off 3D view, and I'm going to actually select my magnification tool and go in and have a closer look at that design. I'm not really happy with the way that's looking there, so I'm just going to surf off a little bit, and I'm going to select the part of the design that to me looks to be the problem, and I'm going to my edit tool up the top, hit my F4 key, and I can zoom in again a little bit further. I can turn off that part of the design so that I can get a closer look. If I select those, I get a little cross. I can delete that so that I haven't got such a point on my design. And I can delete them until I think that that part of the design is looking better. If I want to edit that, I can pull that into there and click generate, turn off my F4 key. I'm going to turn the motif on and go back to my normal view and turn off my edit node. Now if we 3D view, it's a little bit neater in that area there. Now if we zoom in back into that area that I just edited, you can actually see that I have a hole there because I've deleted stitches and they've gone all the way back. So we have this gap that will more than likely show up when you do your stitch out. So again, I'm going to turn off that motif fill and I'm going to zoom into the area that I want to have a closer look at. Again, I'm going to turn on my stitch editing at the top, and I'm also going to hit my F4 key. Now if I select that, I could actually drag that if I wanted to fill that space that I just caused by deleting too many stitches. Again, I could select that stitch up there and drag it down into the area that I want to fix. If I want to add stitches, I can hit my S key on my keyboard and I can then add stitches in between. So I'm just going to put another couple of stitches in there. Back down again just to make sure that that gap is going to be filled, and I'm just going to go back up again and click enter, turn off my F4 key, escape and generate. Now if I turn on my 3D view and scroll back out again, that should look a little bit better in there.